2016 has been a great year for university research projects that not only engage with the public through the fieldwork that helps deliver them, but also makes a tangible difference to the lives of real people up and down the country. In the second of the biannual Engage Awards, organised and run by the National Coordinating Centre for Public Engagement, 18 varied, inspiring and significant projects spanning 6 categories were nominated at the NCCPE's 2-day Public Engagement Conference in Bristol. The Engage Conference looked at how higher education can continue to work with external partners to deliver successful research, and the nominees discovered at the award ceremony held on the first evening whether their project had won. One of the most consistent messages that comes back from any research or survey among older people is the fact that they often aren't asked about ideas and initiatives that materially impact on their lives. Well, the winner of the 2016 Engage Awards Working in Partnership category aimed to reverse that trend by including older people as co-researchers to uncover how one of Britain's biggest cities could become more age-friendly. The judges said the project was an exemplary example of taking participation seriously, committed to tangible outcomes from the beginning and putting older people at the heart of the research. The judges were excited to see the long-term commitment of the partners to working together for change. Well, the Older People as Co-Researchers project, run by the University of Manchester, recruited older people to do the fieldwork in areas of Manchester with high numbers of older people as residents. And I asked Sheena Cruickshank, the university's academic lead for public engagement with research, about the initiative. I've got a declaration to make, which is that in a past life I used to work for Age UK. So I know quite a lot about people in later life. And the one thing that always came back whenever we spoke to older people was everybody decides what they need and they never get a chance to tell anybody what they need or what they want. Was that a recurring theme through this?
No, it was the opposite, because from the outset we involved older people in actually setting the questions, setting the agenda and training them as researchers and conducting the research. So I would say it was almost the opposite, and all the findings have come from the co-research.
And they were co-researchers, so that suggests that there were other researchers involved. So how was it made up?
Yes, so there were academics and there were the older people who were the co-researchers with the academics, and they do partnership work together. So there was training to train the co-researchers, and then they would do sessions jointly together where they would analyse the findings. So a lot of it was going out and doing interviews, working in these sort of separate wards of Manchester, trying to engage with people who don't normally get a voice in research, and that was absolutely crucial. And the co-researchers were involved all the way through, even with the sort of coding and defining the findings.
So obviously, you presumably one starts from the point of we don't have an age-friendly city, and what do we need to do to create one? Was the team, the university team, surprised by the approach that the co-researchers took, or was it entirely predictable, or something in between?
Let me think about that. So in Manchester we're quite unusual because we have a multidisciplinary centre that addresses issues around ageing, and this project was one of the projects that came from that, and that is a project that the microcentre, it sort of works with the City Council and charities like Age UK to try and understand the issues around being healthy when you're ageing and what we can do to make a sort of more friendly city, to make it sort of accessible for all. So I think we had a slightly unusual kind of take from the start, because that was crucial. And the research that happens there is not just sociological research, it's also scientific research. There's a really wide, varied spectrum of projects that are happening, and this is one of the most, well, I love this project, but there are lots of other exciting projects.
It's interesting, the project's about creating age-friendly environments, and you talk about friendly cities, and is it slightly ironic then that there are a lot of older people in later life, who are very lonely, and is that part within the scope of the project as well, sort of ending loneliness?
I think that was something that came through was the value the co-researchers found, sort of talking to people and going to people's houses, which is often the place where they'd conduct the interviews. And the sort of findings often were about having shared spaces where people could go to sort of do things together and having good access to these shared spaces. So that was absolutely crucial, and making it easy, you know, things like having a good pavement and having a few park benches along the way, so that if they wanted to walk, they could have a little stop. And feeling safe in their neighbourhoods was, you know, another thing that came through. So I think all these things are absolutely crucial, and being part of the process, they really talked about this fact that they felt involved, they felt connected. Everybody who was part of the project, that echoed again and again and again.
So is there a natural end to it? Does it have a finite time to run, or are you looking for, or you being the university looking for more funding to carry it on?
As far as I know, the sort of micro project does not have an end. This whole larger institution kind of look does not have a sort of set end, because there's always more things. Research yields more questions, yields more answers. It's a kind of virtuous circle. You've got to keep going round, you know, because it's also, there's things about access to public spaces like galleries and museums, but also how can we make homes more age friendly. What do we understand about how people feel about isolation if they have things like stroke? So there's a lot of other work that's going on. It's a really huge piece of work.
And it's all very well, isn't it, doing the research, but actually if it doesn't translate into anything, there's almost no point in doing it. But the project is engaged with policymakers, is engaged with community groups. Are you seeing a change start to evolve?
Yes, we are. I mean, I think the fact that Manchester City Council is so involved with the project is absolutely crucial, and it's so brilliant to have the project promoted here, because hopefully other places can look at the model that's been created by Tina and the researchers to think about doing similar things there.
Okay, well, I wish you lots of luck with it. I think it's a great project. You know, older people don't get asked enough to get involved in their own futures and their own lives, so good luck with it.
Thank you. And I mean, they have the best experiences and the best advice, so we really have to listen.